wishing you a very happy Sinhala and Tamil New Year. A very good evening to you and a warm welcome to the news live on Channel 9. I'm Sharifa Tahir.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Javed Bongzo and we begin with the headlines of tonight's news.
Sri Lankans rejoice the dawn of the new year. The President says New Year promotes and strengthens reconciliation among communities. Defence Secretary affirms security forces will not reclaim land in the north. 4 persons, including a monk, arrested while excavating for treasure. Ruling party in South Korea loses majority in parliament.
We continue with those and other stories in detail. Sri Lankans island-wide celebrated the dawn of the Sinhala and Tamil New Year at 7:48 this evening.
The Sri Lankan community, centred on agriculture, has been celebrating the dawn of New Year as a tribute to the sun. The month of April, also known as Bak, is a bountiful time. In accordance with the local culture, the celebration of the sun is also considered the dawn of a new year. The Punya Kala began at 1:24 p.m. today and will end at 2:12 tomorrow morning. The auspicious time for cooking fell at 8:06 this evening. Astrologers had suggested lighting the hearth clad in green, facing south, and cooking milk rice mixed with ghee along with a delicacy consisting of green gram would be beneficial. The auspicious time for commencing work, trading and food consumption fell at 8:54 p.m. The anointing of oil should be done on Saturday the 16th at 10:41 a.m. Astrologers advise the ritual is better performed by placing karanda leaves to foot and nuga leaves to the head and facing west whilst clad in blue. They suggest showering subsequent to anointing oil mixed with sesame oil and nuga leaves. The auspicious time for leaving for work falls at 6:27 a.m. on Monday the 18th of April. The task should be commenced clad in white, facing east, subsequent to consuming milk rice mixed with ghee.
Meanwhile, President Maithripala Sirisena in his New Year message says he sees the New Year festival the foremost national and cultural festival of the Sinhala Buddhists and Tamil Hindus in Sri Lanka. The President identified it as a link which promotes and strengthens reconciliation among the communities. Issuing a message for Sinhala and Tamil New Year celebration, the President called on the people to rise as one country, one nation, unhindered by divisions or disparities, but genuine peace and equality, and to build a drug-free, alcohol-free country in the new year. He added the New Year is the foremost national and cultural festival of the Sinhala Buddhists and Tamil Hindus of the country. The head of the state said the importance of the New Year is that they celebrate it upholding their rich cultural traditions and values. He urged the public to celebrate this New Year with due consideration to the core values of the festival and sustaining the country's distinctive cultural heritage.
In his message, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says this year Sri Lankans can celebrate the Sinhala and Tamil New Year as citizens of a free country while upholding the strongest democratic principles. He said this is the year Sri Lankans come together to celebrate the Sinhala and Tamil New Year as a nation in which democracy reigns and human dignity is respected, where people of all ethnicities and religious backgrounds are free to rejoice during a season of fellowship, hope and unity. The Premier said today the public can celebrate the New Year as citizens of a free country while upholding the strongest democratic principles. He expressed his gratitude to those who made it all possible. The Prime Minister reminded as the New Year dawns there are challenging but achievable tasks ahead. He called on everyone to work towards making a significant economic and social transformation to herald in prosperity for all.
And the opposition leader R. Sambandhan says the Sinhala and Tamil New Year is a symbol of unity and everyone should uphold national unity by getting together to strengthen relationships and foster harmony between different communities. In his New Year message, he said he would like to extend his warmest greetings to all those celebrating the Sinhala and Tamil New Year in Sri Lanka and overseas. The leader of the opposition emphasized the Sinhala and Tamil New Year is also a symbol of unity, as it brings people together irrespective of race, caste or creed in national celebration. He, however, encouraged all to partake in the celebrations with joy and happiness, and also urged to remember those who are not so fortunate to celebrate owing to various circumstances. Opposition leader R. Sampanthan says he hopes this new year would be a peaceful and prosperous one for all Sri Lankans.
The U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, offering Sinhala and Tamil New Year greetings on behalf of President Obama and the people of the United States, said Sri Lanka's past year's accomplishments have been historic. Kerry said the accomplishments demonstrate Sri Lankan people's deep commitment for reconciliation, tolerance and peace. The full text of the message reads, "On behalf of President Obama and the American people, I join you in celebrating the Sri Lankan New Year. The past year's accomplishments have been historic, demonstrating the deep commitment of the Sri Lankan people for reconciliation, tolerance and peace. I offer my best wishes for a happy New Year and continued success as we move ahead with the new constitution and further efforts to strengthen Sri Lanka's democracy and prosperity."
Now, crowning the Rupavahini Aurudhu Kumariya is the event which touched the hearts of many during the Rupavahini Sirilaka Piri Aurudhu Siri 2016 New Year Festival. The speciality of this year's New Year Festival is the crowning of the Aurudhu Kumariya with a gold crown. 115 contestants were chosen from a large number of applicants by a panel of judges consisting of veteran beautician Premasiri Hevawasam, veteran designer Niyal Sinviratna and Miss Sri Lanka 2014 Chulakshi Ranasinghe. The last 12 contestants will be on show during the finals tomorrow at the Sirilaka Piri Aurudhu Siri New Year Festival in Kuliyapitiya. The cadre left the Sri Lanka Rupavahini premises for Kuliyapitiya this morning, harbouring aspirations of wearing the golden crown. In other stories, a massive earthquake has hit the Southeast Asian country of Myanmar. The huge tremor measured 7.0 on the Richter scale according to the U.S. Geological Survey. It is not clear at this stage if there are any casualties or the extent of the damage. The quake struck in the northwest of the country, 62 miles northwest of the city of Moniwa. The USGS said it struck at a depth of 135 kilometers. The organization added neighboring India was also affected, with strong tremors felt in India's eastern city of Guwahati and the Kolkata and Bihar regions.
We now move on to our segment, Asia in a Minute.
North Korea's state-run television KRT yesterday released still photographs of soldiers conducting a live fire drill at night time. Soldiers trained for a possible surprise landing of an enemy while firing artilleries towards the sea. Chinese President Xi Jinping yesterday held a welcome ceremony for visiting Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari in Beijing. Invited by Xi, Buhari is paying a state visit to China, which commenced on Monday. Britain's Duke and Duchess of Cambridge sat down to musical lunch yesterday with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi as they continued their tour of India. China has successfully conducted boiling experiment under the microgravity conditions on the retrievable satellite SJ-10 launched on the 6th of April.
We'll be back with more local stories after a break.
Welcome back and continuing with more local stories now. Defence Secretary Karunasena Hettiarji says the security forces will not take back the lands in the north as some groups have alleged. The security forces have been accused of attempting to reacquire the land in Kais Jaffna at a time while the government is gradually returning the land in the north and east taken by the security forces during the conflict to the rightful owners. A group of Tamil National Alliance members of the Northern Provincial Council launched a protest on Monday demanding a halt to the transfer of lands in the area to security forces. The Defence Secretary rejected the allegations, saying about 7 to 8 years ago the land was acquired for purposes concerning national security.
Ministry of Highways has advised motorists to use alternate exit points on the Southern Expressway to avoid traffic congestion during the New Year season on April 13th, 15th and on the 18th. Heavy traffic congestion is likely to occur at the Kottava interchange between April 15th and 18th as vehicles arriving towards Colombo may increase, and the ministry has advised to use alternate exit points avoiding the Kottava interchange if notified via VMS of traffic congestion. Motorists could exit from Kathuduwa Point and reach Colombo through Horana Road, or exit from Athuragiriya Point and use the Malabe Athuragiriya Road, or exit from Kothalavala exit point and enter Malabe Kaduwala Road, or exit from Kaduwala Point and enter Colombo Hambala Road to reach Colombo. Motorists are advised to stick to the left lane and enter the right lane only when overtaking, and return to the left lane after travelling a distance of about 50 meters. Motorists could obtain information regarding traffic congestion and other matters from the Galanigama Traffic Control Centre by dialing 1969 round the clock.
The milk boiling festival of the Ruhunu Maha Kataragama Devalaya was conducted at the auspicious time within the Devalaya premises today. The governor of the Ruhunu Maha Kataragama Devalaya, D.P. Kumarage, emphasized the Devalaya will be closed for devotees till tomorrow evening. The Devalaya will be reopened at an auspicious time. A large number of Hindu and Buddhist devotees thronged at Kataragama in lieu of the New Year festival.
Various celebrations and festivals were organized across the country in lieu of the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. The Vasanta Sanakeliya was organized on the 23rd occasion at the market premises along Nidahas Mawatha, Kagalla recently. Bicycle races, marathon, crowning of the New Year princes, pillow fights and folk singing were among the 37 events featured in celebrations. The festival was organized by the Provincial Council and the District Secretariat Sabaragamuwa in collaboration with various other state institutions. Another New Year festival championing national unity and reconciliation was organized at the Sariputra Vidyalaya, Mathura. Sinhalese, Tamil and Muslim students representing 7 education divisions participated in the festival. New Year traditions, folk sports and a variety show were among the events which made the festival colourful. The Ministry of Education of the Southern Province and the Collective for National Unity and Reconciliation organized the celebration. An alms given to invoke blessings for the country and its people in lieu of the dawn of the New Year with the participation of 150 mothers was also organized. The almsgiving was held at the Bombawala Mahaviharaya Kalutara with the participation of Venerable Halvature Assajitera and the locals. A function to distribute aid among family members of the perished war heroes of the police department was held in Bavania yesterday. The function, which was organized by the Police Welfare Division, was held at the Police Service Training Centre, and 50 families benefit from the measure. A function to distribute dry rations was held at the Sri Sunetra Rama Viharaya at Tulkote, during which 300 parcels of dry rations, each valued at 2,000 rupees, were distributed among low-income families.
Well, the tourists visiting the country during the festive season were treated to a typical New Year celebration. They enjoyed the celebrations to their heart's content in Hikkado today. They were able to soak in the excitement of traditional folk games while participating in many of them. Coconut scraping, tug of war, selecting the New Year princess and tasting traditional local New Year delicacies were among the activities. They enjoyed this novel experience during the Surya Mangala 2016 organized by the Hikkatrons Hotel.
Celebrants take part in an annual water festival in Bangkok as much of the rest of the country suffers from drought. The streets of Bangkok became a water pistol playground on Wednesday, on day one of Songkran, the country's annual water festival. Revelers armed with super soakers shot each other with streams of water and enjoyed the chance to cool down. But this is the reality for parts of the rest of the country's cracked and dry lands in what's being called the worst drought in decades. 14 out of 76 provinces and large areas of farmland are at risk, prompting the Prime Minister to urge restraint on the 3-day water holiday. Back in Bangkok, water festival participants hope the dire drought situation doesn't dampen people's spirits.
Well, 4 persons, including a Buddhist monk, has been arrested for engaging in treasure excavation in Veheragala, Palgasväva, Habarana. The arrests were made subsequent to a complaint received by the Habarana police. Among the suspects is the chief incumbent of the Sri Jinendra Rama Temple, Veheragala. Equipment utilized in the excavation as well as a jeep have also been taken into custody. The suspects were due to be produced before the Kakirawa magistrate today.
The United Kingdom has aided Sri Lanka in training 12 pediatricians and 12 nursing officers as master trainers. The workshop in this regard was held in Colombo recently. The Sri Lanka College of Pediatricians organized the workshop in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Bristol Simulation Centre, UK. This is the initial part of a 3-year program to establish a simulation training program in Sri Lanka.
simulation is a situation where we recreate a clinical scenario by using simulated patients or mannequins and environments to recreate clinical environments for staff. And I guess its power is that it allows us to take part in educational experiences as a multi-professional team, which traditionally hasn't been occurring. So traditionally nurses trained with nurses and doctors trained with doctors, even though as a healthcare profession we work in close-knit teams. And so what this methodology allows is for us to train those teams to work better together in clinical scenarios, and also identify problems in the clinical environment even before patients have come to harm. And I guess our vision is that one day we will have a program that's self-sustaining within Sri Lanka, able to train their own trainers and really embed the methodology as a practice that's spread widely across all healthcare sectors within Sri Lanka.
Well, the International Kite Festival is presently underway in Berg-Chemin, northern France. This is an annual festival organized during the months of March and April. This year's International Kite Festival marks its 30th occasion. Many colorful kites of innovative designs featuring the festival. Approximately 70,000 spectators and kite owners participate in this year's festival. During the festival, kite designing from the smallest to the largest, as well as giving them flight, are studied. The festival commenced on the 9th and conclude on the 17th of April. Well, that's it for local news. Foreign news is coming up next. Welcome back and taking a look at foreign stories now. The ruling party in South Korea has lost its majority in parliament after elections aimed at boosting its position, exit polls suggest. Exit polls forecast the Saenuri party to retain a slight lead over opponents, but not enough to secure a majority in the 300-member National Assembly. Saenuri previously had only a slim majority in the assembly. It meant that President Park Geun-hye's time in office had been hampered by legislative gridlock. She was hoping a stronger showing of support in the National Assembly would help her to push through labour and economic reforms before her term in office expires in about 20 months' time. Ms. Park has been criticised over her handling of the economy, which has seen rising unemployment, particularly among the young, falling experts and high levels of household debt. Voters cast ballots at nearly 14,000 polling stations to elect 253 of the 300 lawmakers. The remaining 47 proportional representation seats are allocated to parties according to the numbers of votes they receive overall.
We now move on to some international news from around the world in brief. Police in Panama have raided the headquarters of the law firm at the center of a massive data leak. Prosecutors said the operation had been carried out at the offices of Mossack Fonseca in Panama City without incident or interference. The firm has denied wrongdoing. Panamanian President Juan Carlos Varela has promised to work with other countries to improve transparency in its offshore financial industry. An outbreak of yellow fever has killed 21 people in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the World Health Organization says, linking some cases to an outbreak in neighboring Angola. Who said the deaths had occurred in January to March with 151 suspected cases recorded. The acute mosquito-borne viral disease has killed 225 people in Angola and infected about 1,600 there. Yellow fever is a virus that can cause bleeding, jaundice and kidney failure. Another coalition partner of Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff has announced it is quitting, dealing a further blow to her bid to stave off impeachment. The Progressive Party said most of its 47 MPs would vote for Rousseff to be impeached. Last month, the PMDB, the largest party in Brazil's governing coalition, also voted to leave. Rousseff, who faces an impeachment vote in the lower house on Sunday, says her opponents are plotting a coup.
But caught in a political
Global sea level rise since the 1970s has been predominantly driven by greenhouse gas emissions and not natural climate variability, a study suggests. Over the last 100 years, sea levels have been rising much faster than over previous millennia. Now scientists have modeled the cumulative forces driving observed sea level rise in the modern era. Details of the work are published in Nature Climate Change.
The owners of these paintings,
a painting discovered 2 years ago in a leaky attic in the south of France is by Italian master Caravaggio and worth an estimated 120 million euros, experts said yesterday. The painting, entitled Judith Beheading Holofernes, lay hidden for 150 years. Members of the firm, Eric Turquin, said before being discovered by a family in Toulouse who went into the eaves of their house looking for the source of a leak. Last Sunday, the International Kite Meeting took place in Berck-sur-Mer in northern France. Around 700,000 visitors watched the presentations and competitions. The International Kite Festival has taken place in Berck-sur-Mer for over 25 years. This year, the RIC takes place from Saturday night to the 17th Sunday. Captain America Civil War is a 2016 American superhero film featuring the Marvel Comics character Captain America, produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. The film is directed by Anthony and Joe Russo. Development of Captain America Civil War started in late 2013 when Marcus and McFeely began writing the screenplay, which borrows concepts from the 2006 comic book limited series Civil War. Captain America Civil War held its world premiere in Los Angeles on the 12th of April 2016 and is scheduled to be released
And on sports news, the International Olympic Committee Coordination Commission began its 10th and final trip to Rio de Janeiro, just 4 months before the 2016 Rio Olympics opened. The IOC met with local officials and members of the Brazil Organizing Committee yesterday. IOC Chair Naval El Mutawakkil said preparations are advancing, but much work remains. During its visit, the IOC will tour Olympic venues, meet with local officials and receive updates about preparations. The Commission is expected to hold a news conference today. The IOC visit comes just weeks after the Brazil sports minister was pushed out of his job and fears rise around the rampant Zika virus that is affecting much of the country. Rio was selected as the 2016 host city in 2009, beating out Chicago, Tokyo and Madrid.
And before we wind up, a quick look at the weather. The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central, southern and Uva provinces after 2 p.m. Showers or thundershowers are likely at few places elsewhere after 2 p.m. Few showers may occur in the southwestern coastal areas in the morning too.
Well, that's it for tonight's news. Do watch us tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.
Good night.